that there. Yeah, as I told you, there is no plan. There is no destination.
Don't let them know that.
What?
Don't let the people watching this.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is a plan.
We're all here together.
We're all here together. That's the whole thing. And that's what this is about. This is just about community and love and I don't know what else.
Camaraderie.
There you go. That's a good word. That's a good word. So that's a good word. No. So yeah. So we actually get to open up on Friday here in New Brighton.
Yes,
so we're excited about that.
Yeah, I saw that. We have, the North Hills going right now. Right? The Pittsburgh. How's that?
North Hills.
I'm sorry. How is that going right now with the limited social distancing? How are you going through that process right now?
Yeah, well, North Hills has been open now for 4 or 5 days. And so they've been doing the social distancing thing. Never had more than a couple of customers in the store at a time. So that's cool. So he hasn't had any issues with that. We had a little bit of issues with some staff confusion and some people that weren't interested in coming back that we thought were coming back. So Brad's been pretty much running the North Hills store by himself until we can get that dealt with. So next week we should be back to a more normal staffing level. Here in New Brighton, we'll be me and Jen are taking care of Friday and Saturday, and then next week Andrew's coming back and Vince is coming back and John Walsh is coming back. So that's going to be nice to see people again and have people in the store. If you haven't checked out, we video earlier today on our Facebook page that is also on our YouTube page of a song that Andrew wrote during quarantine that a bunch of the staff recorded. And so it's really cool. You guys should check that out. Should have had a link.
I saw that. I saw that when I went on your Facebook page before coming in. I was like, "Oh, what is this?" So now
you know.
Now I know.
So he wrote a song, which was cool,
Yeah.
and then sent out all the parts, and everybody recorded it on their phones or whatever they could record on, and sent it back into Noah. And he put it together inside of whatever program he uses to do his magic, and it actually worked out really nice. It's really cool, actually. So that was fun and kind of fun. So thank you everybody for joining us. So we see some people here. Today's coffee conversation number 54. What day is it, Jen?
It's Wednesday. I just think about that.
Wednesday. Yeah, it is Wednesday. And up Wednesday here during quarantine. Not really quarantined because we're not really quarantined. We're just hanging out. But we're here today with Kurt Winslet from Buffet Crampon. And
I'll take it.
And that's the way that I've always heard it pronounced. So it's better than Buffett Crampon.
Yeah.
But also does Besson and BNS and Hoyer. And what else do you do? Mino Weston.
Mino Weston tubas, Powell flutes.
I forgot about Powell flutes. See, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that we get from you guys there at Buffet. Great company to deal with, and lots of good stuff. Of course, they've been known for that R13 clarinet for a million years. That seems to be the most popular thing that Buffet does. I'm sure there's new stuff that's coming out and all that kind of stuff. So, how is your little bit of quarantine going?
It's been going by a lot of self-reflection, having a lot of that going on. Concerned that pretty much everything has been closed and shut down. We just recently lifted lockdown on Friday last week. With that being said, that is by no means over the entire state, because each municipality and government had their local government had their own say in that.
Now, where are you at?
I'm in Towson, Maryland, so right on the Baltimore City line.
Yeah.
So north, but pretty much North Baltimore, right where I-83 meets Baltimore.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys are like kind of, we are rolling out county by county and stuff.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
There are counties that are just like Baltimore City is a no-go. The DC metro areas are they're locked down still. My where I live is not phase 1, but it's not locked down. I'm right in the middle. So
Interesting.
yes, you can go out and do stuff, but other stores can't open. So in this area, it's been a mix of some stores open, some stores not. You go one county over, everything's open. So.
Yeah, that's the way we were. We were the only county left in Western Pennsylvania that wasn't allowed to be open until this Friday. So now this whole part of Western Pennsylvania is going to be open and stuff like that. I don't know if you saw earlier today, I guess there was a protest in Michigan over haircuts.
Yeah.
And they actually had people out on the Michigan steps cutting people's hair. There was all these people gathered, and there's police, and there was, I mean, it was funny because in the old days when people were like protesting stuff, they grew their hair long, right? Those hippies and stuff like that.
Right.
And now we're protesting over getting haircuts. So
it's a good point. Good comparison.
That is an excellent one. I'm happy with having the hair grow out. I think that's great. I did kind of take off the a little bit of the facial hair for this, but it's still there. I just just kind of did the trim down as opposed to the length.
Yeah.
No,
I need to look somewhat okay.
I shaved my head yesterday. Now I need I need powder or something. But when we get the makeup artists to finally come back in, I'll look all beautiful again, which that's not going to happen. So, anyways, so what is Buffet Crampon doing during? I know that they're doing a bunch of webcasts and a bunch of Facebook stuff, but what kind of stuff are they doing to help out during this pandemic?
Yeah, so you brought up one of the things that we're doing here in the United States, so Buffet Crampon USA. We're doing webcast. That's every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and these are actually broadcast internationally. So although they are local time, real time, there are people logging in throughout the entire globe watching this live. Some of them, well, all of them gotten several thousand hits up. So very popular. The idea behind it was how can we interact with stores, customers, musicians. It's open to everyone in a way that allows us to not just connect, but give something that maybe people didn't know, or how are things made, or hey, I've always liked this musician and we're interviewing them for this hour. So for example, we've had some of the very famous, highly regarded names that are artists on a roster. Is locally to you, James Gourlay. He was on with the Harrelson team, husband and wife, all best and artists with us. And they were talking about the British bass band movement here in the United States. We've had Weston Sprott from the Metropolitan Opera, trombonist. We've had, they're all slipping in my mind right now. Oh, Stephen Mead from England was on, Best in Euphoniums. So we had him on live from England. It's been very interesting. Yesterday was very good. So obviously we have Cowworth saxophones, Julius Cowworth saxophones, and Joachim Cowworth, who is Julius's grandson, is the CFO for Buffet Crampon Germany, and still works there for Cowworth. So he was on yesterday talking about the history, present and future of Cowworth, how it came with his family and how it's still in the family these generations later. And Al Maniscalco, who is also the group manager for Cowworth, were the two on that call. So we got to see a lot of people asking questions about like the SX90R. Tomorrow, we are going to have Denson Paul Pollard, who is the principal bass trombone for the Metropolitan Opera. He's also a professor of trombone at Indiana University. So we'll have him on tomorrow at 2 p.m. He'll be talking about the Creation Series, which he helped to develop for Antoine Courtois. The Creation Series is our newest trombones. I know you've seen them when I brought them in. They have a cut bell as standard, as well as some other different bracing features that make it unique. And it comes in a travel case that looks like a viola case. So we'll be talking about that and other things. So that's one of the big things we're doing right now. And like I said, it's open to everyone and it's live Q&A. So anyone can go on, shoot a question to us. We'll try to answer it. With that being said, if we don't get to it during that time, we follow up with everyone as people post questions ongoing. All the videos are archived. So if you missed any, you can go on and see them.
Wow. That's really cool. And that is one of the neat things that's happening now is getting like a behind the curtains look of what's going on and why things are the way they are and why, we've never, it probably is something we should have been doing all along, but nobody really was thinking that was important. But now that, we have this time and we have this lack of being able to travel and the lack of being able to get to certain people, it actually has been really nice to be able to learn about different things that I didn't know about. I mean, I've been around for a long time and there's a lot of things that I had no clue about why things are exactly why they were. And it's the amount of knowledge that's being shared is very cool. So that's really good. And it's nice that you guys are doing it for everybody. A lot of companies are doing stuff, which is great for the stores, but to make that stuff public to everybody is even extra cool, because that way anybody that has any interest in that stuff can get out there and look and see what it is and learn more about your company, which is why you build relationships with people, right? So that's why we do this kind of thing, is we're building relationships with people, just reaching out how we can and talking about different stuff. So that's very super cool. So you have anything else going on in your life?
Yeah.
You drink good coffee today?
Drinking coffee, the good stuff in life.
Any good new skills you've picked up in the last couple of weeks?
Any good? Well, I've gotten back in touch with my inner cook. So that's good. So I've been experimenting with a lot more recipes and baking more. That's been good, getting back in touch with that. So I've always enjoyed that. Right. Now, I've stockpiled, so I don't have to go to the store as much and just go in the refrigerator or freezer.
Yeah.
And have at it.
That's great. And that's also cool. Well, now because of all of this, you have the time, rather than being on the road and going visiting, different stores, doing events and stuff. So it's awesome.
Oh yeah, it is great, and that's the one thing you have to say. It's been nice in that regard. The flip side is, it's a complete different frame of mind and point of reference. It's just so different. I've been able to walk around and meet more people in the community because, well, what else are you going to do? You can't.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to walk because you need to get out and get out.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've heard from a bunch of different people during these things, is that the lack of actual social interaction, that having the interaction with a stranger that you used to think that was annoying, that now you kind of miss, and seriously, and being able to go to a restaurant and have somebody else clean up your dishes.
Yeah, I missed that part. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's why you go to restaurants, right? It's not because you can't cook. You can cook. It's because you don't want to clean up.
That's exactly right.
So I miss that. I miss that a lot. My wife would tell me that I don't clean up, and she's right, and I'm not going to begrudge that at all. But which is why we had to buy a new dishwasher, because when the one broke, I wasn't doing the dishes. But it's been.
I'm waiting for Beth to comment about that.
Yeah, I was waiting for Beth to comment on that too. Yeah, we had a bit of an issue last week with the dishwasher breaking again, and with everybody being in COVID mode, and things are a little bit heightened as far as things go. So I fixed it by ordering a new dishwasher.
Yeah.
So
there's a solution.
It's not worth the stress. It's not worth the stress. So so usually we have you in for our anniversary sale, but of course we won't be having that this year. We are having the anniversary sale, but we won't be welcoming you in, which is too bad, because it's always fun to have reps in the store with people here. But we are doing our anniversary sale still. It's going to look a little different. We're going to do online appointments if they want. We're going to do walk-ins if they want. We're making appointments for all the band and orchestra instruments, because the interesting thing with that we're finding out is that you need to leave those instruments rest, right? So if an instrument's played, it needs to sit for 3 days. so that if there was a chance that those germs were in there, after 3 days they're completely gone. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works, because that's why we're taking appointments, is so we can go, okay, fine, we're going to try these flutes with this one person this day. Well, now 3 days out, those upper line flutes that we only have one of, they'll be ready again after we sanitize them, but we're not going to risk anything inside, even though the Sтерosol will kill the COVID, which we found that out. We can't get it inside the instrument, obviously. So to make it perfectly safe, we're going to leave everything sit for 3 days and not let anybody disturb it. And then we'll go again with the next group. But it's going to be the whole thing is going to be interesting going forward as far as how all that stuff is being dealt with. So we were talking about the repair shop today and how anything that's being returned right now is sitting in a room for 3 or 4 days before it's even touched by one of our staff. Then they go over it, they clean it, they clean the case, they do the whole thing. And then it sits again for 3 days before it goes back to the customer.
Wow.
So it's a spa treatment.
It is a
take some time to rest. A few days away. Relaxation.
We're yes, a little relaxation, a little dip in the pool, a little massage.
Yeah.
And then it'll be all ready to go back to you.
Take a nap, 3 day straight nap, you know?
Oh, that'd be great. Straight nap. I could have that.
How's that going to do
that? Sign me up.
Yeah.
With the instruments. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So I know that you're also a performing musician, and of course gigs are being canceled. I mean, do you know how far out yet? How far out is the longest gig you've been canceled from yet?
Well, there's still unknowns for coming in the fall. So it's more TBD, to be determined. Some are just canceled. So there are some that are tentative coming up in the summer. And the question is, well, how is that going to work? Even outdoors, how is that going to work? For us on stage where we are, I think we could probably manage that. But there's too many unknowns. Not just from us, but the venues, the participants like us, the attendees, and the people that are working around it. It's too many unanswered questions, and that's been putting a lot of the symphony halls, concert halls, theaters, places where you're going to be more shoulder to shoulder, just like churches as well.
Right.
It's very challenging to try to figure this new landscape out. Are you going to how do you limit 50% capacity in your 2,000 person hall? How do you limit 50% capacity when you're outdoors? So that doesn't prevent people from grouping. How do you enforce that? So there are these questions where if everyone's walking in the same way and walking out the same way, isn't the potential still there? Right. These are unanswered questions that we just don't know.
Right, and we're still waiting for some guy. I know that a bunch of the up here in Beaver County or this Western Pennsylvania, we have a bunch of county fairs, and pretty much every one of them is canceled so far for the summer.
All canceled for us, to the best of my knowledge, into July. Mm-hmm. But again, I can see that lingering on.
Yeah, and it really depends how things turn around, and if things start to slow down, and if things start to get more under control. And that's really the case. I mean, everybody compares this to the flu, right? The flu kills 65,000 people a year. Okay, I understand that and that's terrible and that's awful. But if you break that down monthly, 5,400 people, right? So far, right now, we're at about 46,000 people a month. So if that continues at 46,000 a month, obviously it's going to be way worse than the flu. Of course, we don't know what that looks like yet because we're not there yet. So, obviously we want to spread to stop the spread of this virus as much as we can. We hope that everybody is aware that, I mean, I understand it's inconvenient, and I understand that you don't like to wear the mask. It's hot. I understand that. But in our store, I mean, if you want to come shop with us, that's fantastic. We'll love to have you, but you're going to have to wear a mask. All of the staff's going to be wearing a mask to protect you. You need to wear a mask to protect us. Right. That's all we're asking. And it's just respect for each other. That's all we're asking, right? If you don't want to wear a mask, that's fine. We can deliver stuff to you. We can do stuff, but if you're going to be in our store, that's the way that we're dealing with it. So, and to be honest with you, it's to protect my staff. I mean, the people that work for me mean the world to me, and I'm not going to have somebody come in and do something stupid. So,
yeah.
So that's really great. I'm 100% in agreement with you on that. It's because it's so unprecedented. I think there has to be some middle ground with opening to a degree with this. At the same time, it's not carte blanche the way it was, because we clearly know there's something out there that could negatively harm you, me, and people we don't know. So opening's fine, but you just, everything can't be, we're back to normal, because obviously if we're at this rate of infections and deaths, imagine if we just go fully open. Well,
exactly.
Obviously the numbers bear out that it should go up.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I'm not a doctor, and we're not doctors, and we're not trying to tell you what's right and what's wrong, and in your own personal life, that's fine. You do what you want to do. Yeah, it's just, in our particular situation, this is the way that we're rolling with life, and
just trying to keep it
my light died.
Your light died. Oh no!
Now look how dark I am. That's terrible. Anyways,
that sucks. Do you want this one?
No. You need it. See, we actually have studio lights. And we've gotten bougie in this because we've been having fun. So it's like, hey, you know what? It'd be better if we had studio lights. We're just buying cheap stuff.
It looks good.
Yeah, it did look good until the light went out. See how much more tired I look now? I look really tired. And
at night, take some melatonin, maybe that.
Yeah, so.
Ooh, at night I take Alka-Seltzer PM gummies. Melatonin. Anyways, oh yeah, they're like berry gummies. Anyway,
I've never had that.
Nobody needed to know that.
Nobody.
So, anyways, Kurt, anything new and exciting going to be happening at Buffet Crampon? Or I don't know. Do we have any like sneak peeks?
Sneak peek.
Yeah.
Well, some things that are, I guess I wouldn't say sneak peeks, but we are. All this happened. We did unveil the Metropolitan Series trumpets at NAMM, and you were there to see that. And we began doing a big promotion tour throughout the country. Obviously, some things have changed. Right. So that's been unofficially shelved because we can't really travel anywhere. But with that said, that's very, very much in the forefront, new. And we just had Josh Landers on last week, in fact. Josh has a wonderful custom shop in New York, and BNS and had Josh Landers collaborated together to create this new Metropolitan line of trumpets. So it's really quite an extraordinary undertaking that we did. Mm-hmm. So he's been or has developed this trumpet, been taking it to many of the top players in the country. In fact, you've had the opportunities even here in recordings already and live broadcasts out of New York. So the idea is to create a trumpet that has a little bit more of what's going on in the U.S. market, not necessarily sound profile, but feel. It's still being made in Germany, like all of our professional brass. So that's still being made in Markneukirchen. And the really unique thing about it is it has these harmonic beads that have different sizes that you can put where all the tabs are to pull out the slides. The idea behind that is the different weights and sizes affect the timbre, the vibrations, the overtones, and for different people, it's different things. Also, the valve section is a two-piece valve section, which harkens back to some of the older trumpets. and it's a side seam bell. I might get too technical, but the side seam bell, as opposed to other brass instruments that we're used to seeing now, where the seam's usually on the bottom or top, but this is on the side, meaning it's right where the braces line up. So where the seam is, each of the brace lines right up with the seam, and that gives you better sympathetic vibrations and harmonics. So that's very unique. That's still pretty much hot off the press. Yeah. All this happened shortly after it was unveiled. We were going to have the big ITG unveiling. Obviously, that's canceled. It's been working. I managed to get at the One International Trumpet Festival. That was nice. And within that week after that, or 2 weeks later, I was going to travel. So
right, yeah.
But that's big. That's a big event. Big thing. Other things, obviously, the webcasts are going to be continuing. All these webcasts are carrying on and continuing. So that's new, and trying to get in touch with everybody like yourselves and all of our wonderful musicians out there. And one other thing to note with that is the Paris showroom is doing these concerts that are live. I believe it's 1 p.m. Eastern, which is, I think, 7 o'clock in Paris time. And so they feature whichever artist from around the world given time. So they've had some U.S. players, French, German, you name it, players. So if you're interested, definitely go onto the Paris Showroom's Facebook page and check that out as well. Those are all live concerts or concerts from home.
Yeah.
Some of those things are really cool that are coming out of people's houses. I mean, it's amazing, once again, the technology that is rolled through this time. And imagine going through the Spanish flu without the internet. I mean, let's talk about things that you don't want to deal with, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, how many times can you read the same book or whatever you were doing back in the 1920s?
That was a very millennial comment about the internet.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, was it? And
yeah, like that you said, like, imagine without the internet.
I know, but seriously, imagine. I mean, you know, like see the people that you could walk to, because most people didn't have cars.
Hey, I imagine that. I remember that.
You remember? You remember the 20s? No, I mean, seriously. This is hard enough with being able to look. I mean, I remember power went out for 3 days, and I was trying to figure out how to keep my iPhone charged, so I could at least do something. Yes, I'm a very millennial. I'm not millennial, but you are. This new soul.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
In that one, I remember rotary phones. I remember that. I remember that cuff where you have to have a computer. It's like, computer? Don't you go to like the lab? I took typing classes on the typewriter.
See, but you're younger than me. I mean, when I went back to my college at my 5-year reunion, which would have been like 1995.
I love hearing stories.
I know. Well, yeah, sorry. I walked in and I'm like, because I had a computer, right? I was on the message boards. I had an email address, and I'm like, hey, what's your email address? And everybody was looking at me like, an email address? What's that? What? Nobody's going to use those. That's stupid. I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, seriously, what the heck? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that was back in the day when you'd like find a picture of the internet that you wanted, and you click on it, and then you go to bed, and it would download. And then hopefully the next morning it would be there. So it's not like this newfangled stuff. So where we can actually talk to each other from miles and miles and miles away in almost real time. And then people complain about the lag, but it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do you remember that time when there was no phone? Right? I mean, none of us were around. It's like, you want to talk about lag time.
Right.
It's like, write a letter. It's like, months later. It's like, oh,
yep.
Oh, good. It's like
all those letters that Hamilton wrote to his wife and months to get there. But that's a different story.
And now, here we are. Not exactly the furthest distance, but yesterday, Jacksonville to Germany, with everyone in between throughout the globe watching.
Yeah.
relatively speaking, real time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's amazing. I mean, it really has kept. I think it's really kept people connected and really kept people engaged. And it is. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens with it too, but there's a lot of good stuff that does come out of this kind of communication, this kind of stuff. So
absolutely, I think going forward, I really do see an change, and I feel what we're doing now. I think there's going to definitely be a change in the way business is being conducted. And this has been done for quite a few years now, but right now, everyone has had to adjust to this in some way. And now that a larger percentage of the population is having to do this, I do see where, instead of driving here to visit, I mean, hey, yeah, I'm available like this time for 20 minutes. We can just Zoom each other. Hey, for basic stuff, how can you go wrong with that?
No.
Yeah, different than if you're doing an event, but everything else, this is definitely a great way of going forward. And the content that can be shared, as we were just saying, across all different forms of media right now, by doing what we're doing now is really amazing. Like you said, there's the downside concerns of where internet's become a hotbed now for obviously extremes of content that may not agree with everyone's palate or just flat out shouldn't be there. and that's where we have to be careful with this type of technology. But the as a tool, it's effective, and I can definitely see more of this moving forward.
Yeah, we definitely see that's where the industry's heading as far as that kind of thing goes, because you being able to bring a product specialist around every store obviously is a huge cost and is a huge time suck for those people that need to do stuff. But if you can take a day and do Zoom meetings with 8 or 9 or 10 different stores with that product specialist, you've actually been way more effective.
Absolutely. And that's where during this time I've reached out to different people too, putting myself out to do training sessions if available. Obviously this has been different because everyone's spread out and there's other concerns with, just keeping the lights on when sales have been affected and people aren't walking in, you don't know what's going to happen. But the idea of being able to do, as you just said, with product specialists, this is something that I discussed, and we discussed even prior, saying, hey, if you'd like to do this while people aren't coming in the stores and everyone's able to connect, a good product session, brainstorming session, it could be whatever you'd like. It can be focused strictly for you. It could be opened up to some of your area educators even. We can focus it to how you want it, small or large. And it doesn't have to be opened up to everybody. Oh, we're going to do a product set. Well, we don't have to have that. It can be for your local community.
Yeah. Well, that's a great.
Yeah.
Great.
I love it. And I know myself for all of these live broadcasts and different product training and stuff that's just open to the public has been incredible for me personally, because I love getting into the small details. Like when you were talking about the trumpet, I was like, yes, okay, cool. Bell. I love it. I love learning about that stuff, and that just I don't know, and it opens up a whole new world to everybody else, like educators, students who may be watching, or even just people playing for fun. I think it's just so cool that knowledge is now out there, and then people are a little bit more open to it. I just love it.
It's a great point. And sometimes we get bogged down with the details, but sometimes we need more details.
Right.
And that's a great example where you can have a general discussion, but as questions come in, that's when you can begin to, here's a good time to do it. Because sometimes you open up with those details right away. It's like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
50% of the audience.
Yeah, whenever I'm talking to students and they're trying to choose a new horn, it's okay, we're just gonna play them, because if you start saying, well, this flute has, it's made of this kind of material, it has this key, it has this, it's just so much. But once once a student maybe has that instrument in their hand and they see something like this, it's whoa, I never knew this about this instrument, I wonder what other kinds are out there. It's it just opens the door.
It's so true. I always like when people are coming in, you said it great. Okay, here are some of the instruments, play them, and you can kind of be, this is what it is, XYZ, right? Or like, a PAL, and it's like, what makes it stand out is this, symbol to America, and it has a great history going back to the development of metal flutes. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that's all you kind of just very cursory, like, okay, because they don't know. No. But then they play it, and they play another brand, another one, like, then they begin asking. That's when you can begin to explain why each one might be slightly different, but their story. And those are in the details. You don't have to get really specific. Oh, this is but hey, these pads are used, or the French point is effective for this reason. Those things are, I think, always important when talking.
Yeah, like an 8th and 9th grader is not going to know the difference between drawn tone holes or soldered. Like, there's no need for that.
I mean, some of them won't even know what a tone hole is,
right?
Let alone drawn. It's like,
yeah.
Hey, what's a tone hole? It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just play. What do you think?
Yeah.
You have to you kind of meet them right where they are. And that's where these sessions are very good that way. We're able to address it that way. Very general, and can get specific if some people ask. And it's always a good point of reference.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a lot of the technical aspects. I can get into that. I'm a little bit like you in that regard, Jennifer.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, that's cool.
Right. It's cool. I would never know how to do it, and not I don't know. I would never be able to be a repair tech, really, getting into that. I have such mad respect for our repair techs, because they know just so much. But I can appreciate the art form. That's so cool. But yeah, repair techs and manufacturers, actual people creating it, I think that's so cool. I can appreciate it so much.
And I think that we got to meet those people right now, right? So,
yeah.
And because that is one of those things that you don't get to see those people. So
it's true. They're in the factory or somewhere else, and that's what they do. They're at that bench or where the workspace is. Well, now's your chance. So we had Eric Barret on, who's the head of acoustics for Buffet Crampon in Paris, and so obviously when you work in that, you're dealing a lot with the instrument and the specific sounds. And I thought more questions were going to go that way because of what he's doing, but it didn't. But that's okay. The point is, we had him on, as well as Francois Clark, because both of them came from instrument making background. And Eric, he's still over there. He's a professional clarinetist, has this phenomenal clarinet quartet. So he began talking about that because people were asking. So he said, oh, sure. So it's kind of nice because you see that, many of these instrument makers are excellent musicians, and that's why they're doing it. And that was a great example in regards to Eric. And then like Joachim, yesterday on that webcast, I mean, he's third generation Haworth, and he can tell you all about the family history and a lot of the different models. And hey, now's your time to ask. You got him. you kind of know the name, but that's it. He's this guy that lives in Germany. Okay. So a lot of those are really great opportunities to take advantage of. I get into it a lot, so I've been enjoying them a great deal. So I'm like, hey, check this out. This is a good opportunity. And hopefully it has something that people can take from it.
Yeah.
In regard.
For sure. Learn a little bit more about the horn you may or may not be playing. So
that's right. Absolutely. And sometimes it's a great way of connecting with some of these musicians and artists on there, because a lot of the guys that get on there, I mean, there's some of the serious players out there, and it's like you start seeing, oh hey, you're like, oh hey, that guy's on there. So it's kind of cool.
It's very neat.
Yes,
very neat.
Oh, sorry. I was like,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. True.
So, okay, wait. One more question. What kind of coffee are you drinking?
How do you
make it?
How do I make it? Well, this one I decided that I was going to make a drip coffee today.
Okay.
I've been making mostly French press, by the way.
Okay, cool.
So I made drip coffee today. I grind my own beans.
Okay.
So I grind my own beans, and I today, believe it or not, I still have left over. I'm using Starbucks, but it's an organic Starbucks winter roast.
Okay.
Past December, and I'm almost finished.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm doing right now. But I have been using also Maluaga Peru roast. Maluaga is, I don't know if you know, Maluaga is a Maryland roaster. So that's fun.
No, we'll have to send you some Jamaican Blue Mountain from Hallowed Grounds.
And I was going to say also, yeah, and I have some from Hallowed Grounds in there. I have a Brazilian roast from.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Jamaican, was it Jamaican?
Jamaican Blue Mountain. It's their bougiest coffee. Yeah.
I can't wait to grind it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's $50 a pound.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'll send you half pound. I'll send you half pound. I'm not gonna send you a pound, but I'll send you a pound. And you can try it. Know what you think.
I would be honored. First off, I'm a big coffee guy, and I like any guy. If I'm grinding my own beans and I have like the little stove espresso maker as well as the French press and a drip, yeah, I would be all down with that.
Okay, I'll send.
Nice.
We're sending some to John Milzak from Note Flight because he actually. I mean, this is how Blue Guy is. So he actually knows the coffee shop, knows what day they brew the bean he likes, goes that day, buys them whole bean, brings them home and vacuum seals them, and then heats them to precisely 182 degrees. Yeah, that. Yeah. That guy knows his coffee apparently, or something. And
if they have one of his cups of coffee, I'll tell you that. Wow.
I just go down and get cold brew. I mean, I'm pretty simple. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But
I just started making my coffee in a Chemex. I absolutely love it, and I found that to be like my new hobby. So I just got like one of those hand grinders. So I'm gonna start doing like the beans at home, and it's all like bougie.
that is, I often look at those and go, Yes. I do that. I do have a hand grinder as well as a mechanical bird grinder.
Okay, yeah.
And I also have a hand grinder because if you're traveling or you're camping, I mean, you can't give us some sense of civilization.
Yeah.
You guys went the coffee route during this quarantine, and up your coffee game. I just bought a fryer, so that's I'm frying everything at this point. So
there's something to be said about that too.
Yes.
I don't have that. That to me is just one step too far. But trust me, I love it. I'm completely down with that.
No, in fact, the other night my mother, while she was alive, used to make German potato salad, which is a hot potato salad, right? No recipe. It was all by taste. So I used to hang out in the kitchen all the time with her, obviously. And so I learned how to make it. So a few years ago, I had Autumn make it with me. And but that was the last time. And so we were at the store. We're like, we should get fish and German potato salad. Let's do this. I actually had Autumn make the potato salad with me again so that she can learn that whole process. And that's really kind of cool that the time was there for us to be able to do that again, because those recipes are going to get lost, because seriously, it's like 2 swishes of vinegar. How much is that?
Those swishes.
Yeah.
If you don't know what it tastes like, then you can't make it. So that was really cool. So, and then we fried fish. So I guess that was the end of the story.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that story.
Yeah.
I love a good warm German potato salad. Mostly they're made too sweet and they're cold. It's like, no, you have to get the bacon fat with the bacon. Or at least like even if it's uncured, you got to get that fat in there.
You got to start with the bacon fat. That's the whole base. So you fry bacon, use that bacon fat. That's the base of the whole thing.
Oh, I mean, there's nothing like it.
Nope.
And like potato salad, you're like, then it's like, German potato salad done right. It's like, Oh, breakfast, perfect. Lunch, I don't care. Snack, midnight snack. It's fine by me. I can eat that when it's really good. And I love it. It's been so many years, tracking down different places when traveling. It's like, oh, they have German potato salad. I was like, I don't know about that.
No, there's a place in Columbus that has a really German potato salad.
Yeah. Is it like that? It's like almost like a brow house, but it's
yes, it is. It is, and I forget what it's called right now.
And they have like the puffs, the pastries.
They have those giant cream puffs. Those the size of your head cream puffs.
Yeah, that's the place. Yeah, it's a great hang. Yeah, that's an awesome.
I forget what it's called. Yeah, we've gone there a couple times.
It's an old German family. It's still family owned, I believe.
Yeah. It's in German, in Columbus. I'm going to look it up real quick.
Is there like an outside kind of seating? And
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah.
Inside, but they have the long tables. If I remember correctly, in certain parts.
They have small tables there. It's Schmidt's Sausage House and Restaurant.
Yeah, it's a sausage. Oh, you just looked at Schmidt's Sausage. Yeah, I was going to say Sausage House. That's it. I was like,
it's the Schmidt's Sausage House.
It's an old brick.
I'll put
They're
that on
right now, so we can get
that on the list to places like restaurants to go to once things start to open up. Put it on the list.
Columbus is a great town to eat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, really
awesome restaurants. So does Pittsburgh and Columbus and Cleveland. And those three cities, phenomenal places to eat. Sorry, the rest of everywhere else Baltimore does too. Actually, Baltimore and Pittsburgh are similar in many ways. But it's just when traveling, I had to go through these areas. You're like, oh, this is great. I found so many holes in the wall that people probably wouldn't even walk into, and I'm like, I'm going.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, those are the best places. I love those, especially pizza shops. The dirtiest, nastiest looking pizza shops are always the best.
It's true.
There was a place in Pittsburgh. It's still there, but the guy's not there anymore. Called Vincent's Pizza, and the old man Vincent would make pizzas while smoking a cigarette over top of the dough, and ashes would fall in it. I'm telling you, this was the best pizza I have ever had. So, we see no guys there. You want to sit down? I got pepperoni. It's like ash. It was great. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's like when you get those pizzas where they're done on the brick oven and you have a little bit of the black on there.
A little bit of burn.
Yeah, it's not the same burn you're thinking, kids. Yeah. It's like this is off of tobacco.
Right. The little pepperonis that would curl up and burn around the edges. The best. Anyway.
Good stuff. You see, that's it. Music to.
We have a new pizza shop opening in town tomorrow. So, just right down the street. We're excited. We're gonna go buy pizza from them tomorrow, and we'll review their pizza.
Oh, even better. I think that's great.
We'll go live and we'll review their pizza. We're like eating their pizza and going, this is the best darn pizza in the world.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I would like to, I would participate in that one. That sounds great. It's like, that's right up my alley.
We're still trying to put together the Cats drinking game.
The Cats drinking game?
Cats.
The musical, the Cats the musical.
Oh.
So inviting people to drink during Cats the musical. Anytime you feel shame.
That's wow.
Yep.
That's a tough one.
It's
the idea, but watching that. Wow.
I don't know if I can get through it. I don't know.
That's hard. That's really a challenge. Geez, I appreciate that whole concept, and I think it's hilarious. I just, that'll be. I don't know. I can probably bear it and grin it. I'll be having fun the whole time. As long as people are, it's one of those ones where everyone should do it together, where it's all live feed at once. So everyone just make up their own lines as they go along as well.
Oh.
Interactive. So it doesn't matter if we're actually watching and listening to the film itself. It could be literally our own script.
Like a Mystery Science Theater 3000. Or am I dating myself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll do something like
Yeah,
that.
like Mystery Science Series. Yeah, I don't think Jen knows what that is.
I know that.
You? Okay, good. So
Thank
that kind of
you.
Oh,
All right, you can be
yeah,
nice.
a high five. Woo.
All right.
That was
Well,
super great. I love mystery.
Yeah.
oh yeah, me too. That's awesome.
I would geek out on that all the time.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
I'll see so many nights watching that. You're like late at night. Oh yeah, I'm watching this.
My favorite is Mr. B Natural. Have you seen Mr. B Natural?
I can't say that I have.
Oh, you need to look up
I'm writing this down.
Mystery Science Theater 3000, Mr. B Natural. It is an old Con Selmer recruitment video. And it's like the Peter Pan thing where a woman is dressed like a guy and she's trying to get kids to play instruments. And it's just hysterical. I mean, it is like one of my favorite things in life. It's like, Mr. B, you're hot.
So anyways, thank you all for joining us on this live stream. Thank you, Kurt, for popping in, giving us the
Appreciate you very much, Kurt.
news. It was lots of fun. Also, anybody who is watching this or watching the end of this, who knows who is still here, be looking out on our Facebook and Instagram and YouTube page for lots of fun stuff coming up. There may not be something happening, sneak peek, beginning of June. That's all I'll say for now. No tiny hands.
No tiny hands. But I was raising my hand. Charlie Brath tonight, 6:00 on his Facebook page. Local artist. He's a Hohner harmonica artist. That is actually a local guy for us. He is doing a thing from his car. It's called Cartoons. So what he's doing is he's going around to local businesses and sitting out front of these local businesses and doing a live stream of him playing harmonica. He's awesome. Great player, great storyteller. Great thing. He's actually featuring Brighton Music Center tonight. So he will be out in front of our store at 6:00 tonight for his cartoons. So check out his Facebook page or our Facebook page for information on that. Yes, there is a big sale coming around the corner. Shh, don't tell anybody. You were secretly being told. First 2 weeks of June, we're blowing the doors off of everything. More information to follow on that. Anything else I need to talk about? Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Good?
All right.
Great.
Sanitary? I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you, Kurt, for showing up again. We appreciate you very much. And we will see you next time on Coffee Conversations.
Thank you.
Yeah.